Hi, my name is Jessie Graff. I'm a stunt woman and I've been competing on American Ninja Warrior for, I think, 7 or 8 years now.
What is she doing? Oh my! Upside down splits, then right down the rails? Oh heck no!
Oh, she's going in like that! The execution!
I don't know, I think I just feel really lucky that the producers came up with this obstacle course, this sport basically, that took all of my favorite things to do and put them in one place. So it doesn't even feel like I was drawn to the sport as much as I was drawn to all the components of the sport my whole life. And then suddenly they all came together in this one magical reality show that became the sport that we love with an amazing community. But what got me training for it was actually a major knee surgery. I was doing stunts full time and training in lots of flips and fights and all these really high impact lower body activities. And so when I tore my ACL and couldn't walk for a while, I had to come up with a physical activity that I could get really inspired by that could keep me occupied so that I wouldn't re-injure myself. And that's when I started training for Ninja. The big hole in my training was grip strength and pull-ups. And so I just started obsessively doing pull-ups and working on the upper body part of rock climbing and fell in love with the sport.
With 5 buzzers, he has an opportunity to tie it. This could tie it up. 14 and a half feet away. Nice. Jessie Graff has done it.
I think it's just extreme passion for movement. Like, I'm just in love with the feeling of flying and testing my limits. And that's just like what I'm irresistibly drawn to in life. But I've always tried to see setbacks and injuries as opportunities for growth in some area that I've been neglecting. So when it was a lower body injury, my upper body got crazy strong. And when I've had a shoulder injury, I got really good at jumping and kicking. In this past year, I injured both. And so that was a big red flag to me of like, hey, maybe you're neglecting something outside of your physical training. Maybe there's a new area that you need to grow in. And so I studied a ton of stuff about nutrition and corrective exercise and sign language and just started getting all these certifications and addressing other areas of my life to become a more well-balanced person. And that was an amazing experience that all brought me back to what I love in the first place. And as soon as I had that ability to be on obstacles again, it was just like this breath of fresh air of like, oh my gosh, like all these things that I learned were amazing. But yes, there's a reason I chose this to begin with. And I'm always going to be in love with the movement.
Transfer, and here comes flip of Jessie Graff with destruction. We got action.
Actually, this season, I will not have my brace on. The All-Star special that just aired a couple weeks ago was actually shot a long time ago. So that at that point, I think I was 9 months after my knee surgery. And so my knee is great. I've been flipping and fighting and stunting for over a year since then now. So not really any concerns about re-injuring something. Everything's been repaired and is solid and feels better than it did even before the injury.
I think one of my biggest workout philosophies is that it should all be fun so you feel like you're playing instead of just doing boring workouts. And then you can get really fun goals that inspire you to do the harder, more boring workouts. I haven't actually tried this before. Oh, and this is my pig, Samo Hog. Samo, come here. Hi, baby. Good girl. This is Samo. She's named after Sammo Hung. He's one of my favorite action stars.
If you've watched the show and you've studied it, you come to understand that there are a few basic categories where you need to strength train. For lower body, it's just quick explosiveness for really no longer than 6 seconds. So power and explosiveness in the lower body, quick footwork, agility, so plyometrics, and then understanding how trampolines work. Basically, those components will get your lower body ready. And then upper body strength, you got to be amazing at pull-ups, do pull-ups all day, rock climbing, grip strength, knowing how to train on like a tiny ledge this way, or a bar, or a bigger bar, or something that spins, or nunchucks. And you can break it down into those categories, but the biggest thing, well, the physics of a swing, understanding how to swing forward on a stationary bar, on something that's longer, something that can spin in circles or twist. Basically, if you can train that and understand the physics of it, you can adapt that to anything. But then the last really important component of ninja is that adaptability, is throwing yourself into situations where you can't predict what's going to happen and get used to adapting. See an obstacle that you've never seen before, try to figure it out without touching it, and then try it. And I think that's one of the advantages that I had in the early seasons, is that that's what I do every day at work in stunts. You know, we were presented with an impossible situation. We do our best to plan and make it as safe as possible. It still looks impossible. Then we deliver as well as we can, and hopefully come out with something amazing. And so challenging your brain and your body in that way on a regular basis makes you prepared to look at an obstacle and be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How do we make this work? Or, this looks straightforward, but it isn't. What am I missing? How is this going to be trickier than it looks? And the thing now is that there are so many ninja gyms all over the country. It's just blown up. And there are kids who've been training on obstacles, not just drilling adaptability in general, but drilling adaptability on all different kinds of obstacles and twisting them up and making them weird. And they are now so adaptable at the specifics of ninja and everything that branches out from it, that it's wild to see what's possible when you really dedicate yourself to this specifically.
Oh, that was almost so good.
I did it!
Yeah,
You see me get so scared.
that was awesome. Ready to catch.
Wait, did you make it?
I
First
did
try.
it!
Oh, there are people flying everywhere.
She flashed it.
Wow. Nice. That's impressive.
I think a lot of the favorites are back. I'm always excited to see what Jessie Lebrecht does. She's been just like consistent and determined and healthy, and has been able to build this great base. I think obviously all the teams, they are inspiring me in a new way. It's like, you know, we all love this sport of ninja where like we've been playing and climbing on things. And here's a generation that's had access to ninja gyms from age 5, 6, 7 years old, and has dedicated themselves not just to playing on the obstacles, but they're getting scientific with their training. And it's showing a new level of what's possible. So expect a lot of that. And I'm excited to see, like, I don't know, the veterans holding their own in regard to that, if that makes sense. My Instagram and Facebook and everything is Jessie Graff Power, JessieGraffPWR. Hi, my name is Jessie Graff, and you've just been buzzed.